Actually, I had a bit of that this week. It's funny. So, I guess here. Welcome to the Remark Podcast.
Yeah, we forget that this is not just a telephone conversation anymore, that this is actually something on the record.
It is that was the whole premise of this whole thing. It's still the phone conversations that we already have.
Mm-hmm.
It's
just an upgraded version of FaceTime.
Sure. And people get to be privy to the stupid stuff we talk about on the daily.
Absolutely.
I don't know why we think this is a good idea, but this is what we do and put it out there for public consumption.
Should we leak our Instagram chats next?
Ooh. What's next? Your web browser history? Gosh. What are you?
I have no shame.
Yeah. You do that, they'll see how often I'm on some Monument Guys website out of Tennessee or something like that.
I hear it gets a lot of traffic. I don't know why Tennessee, but just for some reason.
It was kind of like
through a dart.
Through a dart. I figured I'd volunteer a name, just throw it out there.
Mm-hmm.
So no, we were talking about that and knowing your place or knowing you kind of where, know your place, know where you're supposed to be. The funny thing about it is always that you get those moments, and Emily and I talked about this week. You get those moments in time where you go, you begin to feel like that there's these aspects of life that make you feel like you're on top of the world, like you're killing it. Man, look how good and blessed I am, and man, the world's just my oyster, and here I am shucking it, right? Mm-hmm. And then you get the other times where you're the guy who's kind of dragging up the rear, and you feel it, and you go, man, what did I do wrong, right? I had both of those things in the same moment yesterday. So yesterday, Emily and I did a thing, and it wasn't as big as your thing you did last week, but probably was a little bigger, to be honest. So you and I have talked about
pretty big.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Depends on how much yours was.
Yeah, but
so we yesterday, Emily and I signed the contract on the land in which the office sits on. So we are in the, what do you call that stage? The when you're in the contract stage before you go to closing, all the fancy, lawyer mumbo jumbo realtor stuff. So, anyways, all that to say, we just put it off. We signed a contract to purchase the land in which our monument shop sits on that we've been renting for 15 years. And that piece of property has two other tenants on it, and it's 2 acres, and we are in the process of purchasing it. So a contract was signed yesterday, and as soon as I signed the contract, the next thing I did was I went outside and unloaded a truck, driving the forklift and doing other, low man on the totem pole stuff, which kind of made this full gamut round things of, hey, look at me, I'm doing well. The world is up here, and I'm clutching it. It's all mine. And now I'm taking the trash out. But I was telling Emily on the way to the James's football game last night, I was like, it's funny to me because I'm always the guy. I tend to like, I like those things that humble you. It makes me laugh. It's always those things that make you realize, dude, you're just still another human being with another beating heart, and the world could care less about who you are.
Definitely so.
So that's why I like the self-deprecating humor. It brings it all back down to earth and put your feet on solid ground.
Well, at least congratulations on taking the first big step towards. Yeah. It's your investing
towards debt. Towards debt.
Crippling debt.
Yeah. So
Now, there's been people ask me. Of course, you know how I got my start in it, and they asked me. They said, well, "Were you not concerned about taking on that much debt starting out?" And my quick answer was no, and primarily because I grew up farming. That's all we've ever known was debt, and
you didn't own anything.
No. Technically, we borrowed money for a living and farmed for a hobby. So, yeah. Trust me, I still miss farming. I loved it. The good Lord was good to us in farming. The main difference in what I used to do and what I do now is back then I worked for myself and I just have time to myself throughout the day, whether I was sitting in the cab of a tractor or going from farm to farm, just checking on things. And you know, I work for the public.
Yeah.
And customer's always right.
Always?
That's what the saying says.
Always? Well, that online company told me that you would install this monument if I bought it online.
And they might overcharge you.
I don't know where you got that from.
Reliable sources.
Mm-hmm. So no, yeah. So that was the big thing, the big move this week. But you know, the biggest thing about it is it's funny. There's been a lot of planning, a lot of distraction. Of course, you've known in the background we've been messing with this for a while, and trying to get there. And so it's all cool and everything, but it's just another step, you know, means to the ends and get on to the next thing.
Well, at least whenever some people, just like I did a minute ago, tell you congratulations on doing this, it actually means a little bit more than like whenever you purchase a vehicle and somebody says, "Hey, congratulations." Like, I have never gone to a tool store and bought a ratchet and somebody said, "Hey, congratulations on that." You know?
I don't know, man. It's a nice ratchet. It's a nice ratchet.
Well, do we start saying that to our customers whenever they purchase something from us?
Ooh, that sounds bad.
It doesn't work.
Yeah. Here's, you know, hey, yes, you signed. This is the monument for your son, little Johnny. Yeah. Oh, so I just need you to sign here and pay the bill. Hey, congratulations on your. Oh my gosh.
That's cold.
I know.
That's so cold.
It's how you go to hell. It's that's brutal. Nah. Yeah. Not me. Not interested. So yeah, it's but so we've got some steps ahead of us. We've started a secondary DBA, so that will hold that and just trying to keep things as clean as possible. I think over the last month, I've had more conversations and I've learned more about real estate than I've ever cared to know.
Absolutely. And you're about to enter into the fun stage of this, the planning stage, to where you're going to make your plans as large and grandiose as you possibly can. And then whenever you see the price tag to it, then you say, well, okay, let's scale that back a little bit.
Here, at least I will say this, and you've done one at least, but Emily and I have built 2 homes. Mm-hmm. And I'll say, so I've gone through that to some extent. Mm-hmm. I'd almost rather a Rochambeau. Just, there's parts of it that are just great and all that, but there's parts of it that are rough. And, but yeah, it's one step at a time. That's all you get. That's all you get out of any of this. So just as long as once you understand that, you're golden. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, so we've got that going on over here, trying to get rocks out. Got a truck in yesterday. You got a truck in yesterday, didn't you?
One might have showed up at my place, and I was, I'm kind of disappointed in the supplier that sent it, because I thought that they held the standards. I really did. I thought it was a reputable company, but I had one of my stones show up with graffiti on it.
Really?
And it's something that I think that we can take care of here in house.
All right.
I think we can remedy the problem. Fortunately, it was just on the cardboard that was covering the headstone.
Oh.
But Somebody wrote Giga Mags on it, and I have still yet to figure out who has perpetrated this heinous crime.
Wait a minute! I thought you said graffiti. That sounds like there was a blessing that was bestowed upon the monuments that you had on the truck.
Well, I'm hot on the trail that the perpetrator did it. I went over to my catch barrel and got some, the fine dust, and I've dusted for prints.
Yeah,
and currently waiting on some results on that.
Man, you let me know how that turns out. I'm interested. I'm here for it. No, yeah, we had a truck come in, but maybe a different truck. I don't know, but could have been. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it had a truck come in, so we've been unloading a bunch of stuff today and going through kind of making sure everything's organized and all that.
Now, was it one of those that you climbed up on the truck and read the tags and then you figured it out, or did you ask the truck driver, "Hey, where's your next stop?"
I don't have to climb up on the truck to know. I know. I know. There was nothing left on the truck.
True.
There was nothing. It was. I was like half of it.
Yeah.
And then your stuff was there. So that's it. That's all that's there. So hey, we've got big news though. We have. So we're 12 minutes into this. Can we go ahead and can we talk about this yet? I think we should.
I think we should. I will. Of course, I didn't know about it, but you made the post about it whenever it was put out.
I volunteered you, basically, is how this went.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It was easy to talk me into it.
So January 15th through the 17th, there's an event going on. Just a little thing in Baltimore, Maryland, home of the Orioles.
I so wish we would be there during baseball season. I'd love to see Camden Yards.
You can still go see Camden Yards, but it's going to be like covered in cocaine or something, or snow or something.
Yeah.
So, Mid-Atlantic Convention, January 15th to the 17th. We Rock Podcast will be on site.
Mm-hmm.
I have it on good authority from an individual of the board that we will have a booth for us there. I kind of been going through a couple of things. I kind of like to talk about it a little bit today, but going through thoughts about what we could do. I want to do something a little different than we've done in the past completely. We've been doing this now we're in year 3. What did we say? Episode 472 or something like that. Mm-hmm. So we've talked a lot about the stuff that we run into, and we talk a lot about the things that, the stuff that we know pretty well, and customers and those kind of scenarios. Most of our feedback has obviously come from people who are new to the industry and things like that are trying to learn stuff, which is phenomenal. That's really what this is about, right? It's those conversations that we run into and kind of having a place to store that for reference to go back to and those kind of things. I want to have an open conversation at our booth, recorded, for new retailers to come up and ask questions. And hey, how'd you get into it? What do you recommend if we're startup? What do you recommend doing? What would you do different? Those kind of things. Hey, what would you do in this scenario? But we're not and I'll say, this, I'm not the foremost expert by any stretch of the imagination. Yep. I would tell you what I would do, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work. Now, I also do a lot of really stupid, petty stuff because that's who I am and I enjoy it. But
we can give lessons in pettiness too.
Ooh, I'm good at it. I'll do it just for the heck of it. So, but no, I think having something like that at our booth, we'll have a couple of shows while we're there, and I'm excited. I've been wanting to go to that show for a long time.
Same here, and I'm especially excited about the idea of having newer business owners that are in this industry have a conversation with us. And just like you said, we're not claiming to be experts. We're just going to tell you what we've experienced and what we've done. challenges that we faced, different ideas that we've come up with.
Yep.
But one thing that I have seen at a lot of these conventions is you see some of these newer retailers that show up, and obviously they don't know everybody yet. And the first time is going to be a little bit challenging because you're just really getting to know people. And it's not until you've started to really come around that you really start to gain a lot from coming to these conventions. And
that's why I've been being a big advocate for coming to these for a while, because it's that first time is always tough, and you're pulling that Band-Aid off and you're like, man, I didn't really get anything out of it. But a lot of it's, you get out of it what you're going to put into that first one specifically. And it's getting to know and meet people. But the second one, once you've established, that you're sticking around, and not even just that you're sticking around, but, that you're a recognizable face again, then you start having those conversations. People like open up a lot more, and it becomes a lot more entertaining.
Then they ask you to be on the board.
I didn't give you much chance. It was hey, it's get him before he realizes there's something going on.
Yeah, just shame him into it to where he can't say no anymore.
Yeah. So no, I think it's going to be a good show. I'm excited. He's told me that Nate Gingrich up there, up in PA, told me that they've got just granite suppliers, whether it's manufacturers, importers, or whatever. 28 of them. Now, keep in mind, it's a full display show. Now, they're up on like the 4th floor of the hotel, so it's not like, and everything's going to come up a freight elevator, but it is still a full display show. So they're bringing upright monuments and those kind of things that are going to be there. They will have very nice displays. But there's
and especially if you've never been to a monument convention, a great first one to go to is a full display convention.
Yep. So about 28 or 30 of the stone suppliers, but there's like, what do you say? I'm gonna butcher the number, but it's pretty close to something like 64 booths of suppliers, and they've only got a handful left. I mean, like they're like on the cusp of being done. So if you're a supplier and you want a booth, it's like call today and get it done, because it ain't going to be there much longer. But they've just opened up the registration for the show. I have not seen anything on what the education is, but as you and I have talked for a very long time, while we're big on the education, we're really big on just showing up, meeting people, because there's more education in the hospitality room, at the bar, at the other events and things like that, when you're glad handing, having these conversations and meeting these people and exchanging phone numbers with people.
Definitely
so that there's so much more value when you're doing those things. So,
oh yes.
And look, if you're up in the Northeast, or you're anywhere where that white stuff falls and hits the ground, you're not doing anything anyway in January. So show up in Baltimore, come hang out with us, and let's have a good time.
Yes. I'm looking forward to it. The only time I've ever been to Baltimore in my life was just a layover in the Baltimore airport.
We flew into Baltimore. The only time I've ever been to Baltimore. Well, let me back up. Hold on. I've been there. Hell, it was the same trip. We flew into Baltimore to go to a wedding in D.C., rented a car and drove to D.C., and then had a friend of ours pick us up at our hotel and take us to his house. It was a friend of ours from college that had moved up there and was living up there for a short period of time in Baltimore, so went and hung out with them for a little bit. But that's it. I have not seen Baltimore, so I do know that they don't have feeder roads.
Really?
You call them? Yeah. Are you a frontage road guy or feeder road guy?
I call it frontage, but I understand the term feeder.
Okay. And for those of y'all who don't understand that was the difference between North Texas and South Texas. It's South Texas is the roads that enter the highway that run parallel with the highway that is not the interstate or the highway are called either feeder roads or frontage roads. But some of y'all don't know that those are actual things because you don't have them. So, yeah, no, I'm excited. It's gonna be a lot of fun, and it's good timing. And I think we're gonna by the time we get there, I think you and I are both gonna need a breaks. So, but man, no, so a lot going on. I think I really like kind of being able to go up there, have these kind of conversations about our experiences and starting up, and our experiences and what we would deal with and run into.
Oh, definitely so. And I think especially just touching on that I think it's a great conversation to have, being that what I've been through. And of course I'm sitting in what I started out in, my finish shop, and you're in the process of just getting going with it. Even though you've been in business much longer than I have, and you're much more well established than I am. Like, one thing that I found that happened for me is whenever I finally built my shop is how much my business increased.
Yeah.
And it's almost like people take a lot more comfort. And whenever they walk in and they see that this is exactly where this is going to happen at.
Well, and that was, I'd had this conversation the other day with my mom about something like that. And it was, my mom was a paralegal for, I don't remember, forever, since when I was a kid. So 40 years, something like that. And she worked for a bunch of different attorneys. And I kind of made this point. It's like, look, nobody wants to ever have to hire an attorney. And there are a lot of attorneys that have very nice offices because they just want a nice office. But the truth of the matter is the reason why an attorney has a nice office is to create comfort. Right? It's not to say, hey, look, we've made it. Look what we do, blah, 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 and puff their shirt up and kind of go, ha ha, look at us. But it's and many times you want that comfort level in there. And those are the kinds of things that we got to look into as we're building this stuff out for us. Is how do I make that family come in and not feel like, hey, look, these guys know what they're doing because I walked in and they've got that particular monument inside their office and the other place is just a shed.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people that have small monument shops that do pretty daggone well. And so that's not if you can make the customer feel comfortable when they walk in the door.
And I do agree with that statement. My one disagreement with it is I know about some of those shops that you're talking about that their office location it's not going to be anything like what you're planning to build.
No.
But what they do have is they do have, some of them in some instances have close to a century of experience. And that's all that area has ever known, is where that one shop has been. And their reputation is the comfort that the families take in. Now, if you were just to start out with a small shed, it may not work as well for you.
Yeah, no, I think that may be a little bit different. Now, I do have the luxury of having been in business since 2006.
Correct.
We have been in this office since 2010. And the reason I know that for sure is because we happened to come across our first lease about 3 weeks ago. And so it's been 15 years in this building.
Wow.
So, we've been here for 15 years. People know that we're here by this point in time. It was one of the big reasons why I didn't want to move. I wanted to buy it. And I've said, I think you and I talked about it, I think it would cost me, on top of just in having to move my stuff, having to rebrand an address, having to change, advertise and let people know we've moved. I think it would cost me an additional $30,000
easily,
just in that kind of stuff. So,
on top of that, a large part of our clientele that we deal with are elderly individuals, and I'm not trying to frame them as incompetent or anything, but if they drive by your location and it's no longer there, they're just going to assume that you are no longer in business.
Right. That was one of the big things when we, at one point in time, and I'll go ahead and tell this story because it was really cool. This is where I kind of, you can ride. If you're listening, you can either ride along this train with me, or you can go, oh, that's all hogwash and whatnot. I don't really care. But what was really cool about this was I had given the go ahead for the realtor to start looking for a piece of land for me. Really, probably this is probably, we'll call it a month and a half ago. I'm not really sure on the date. And so go ahead and let's do this. And I had that conversation with her. I said, when she's asking where, I said, keep in mind this. I'm not so much worried about physical location as much as, oh, it's got to be the premier spot. I said, it has to be easy to give directions to. So if you say it's like, oh, it's behind the Walmart, that makes sense. If you say that it's, well, you got to go down this way and then make 14 different turns, left, right, left, right, left, 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 right, then you're never going to get people there. Mm-hmm. And they won't show up because it's too difficult. So, anyways, that was that caveat. The story, though, was the way this all ended conspiring that we were able to stay in our place is that I'd signed the deal for the realtor to go look for the property. And it's a good friend of mine. So she was, I knew she was working on it. And the next week I came in the office. I didn't have anything going on that day on my schedule. So I said, all right, I'm going to work on this today. And I sent an email to my accountant and an email to my banker and said, I need you to told the accountant to send my stuff over to the banker so he can review it and kind of figure out what we're worth as far as trying to get a loan. And not 10 minutes after the banker said he'd gotten the paperwork or gotten the documents from him, I got a text message from the landowner asking if I was still interested in buying the property. And so it was such just a God thing that it happened that way. You can't really write it any other direction. So, nope. And I've kind of reminded myself that throughout this process as we run into some of the little hiccups. And I say little hiccups, it's like the value. Everybody wants something at a certain dollar, and your customers are the same way. But, they want that flat marker for $250. So, mm-hmm. But you kind of get that. There was that back and forth and whatnot. And you go, well, in the end, what's the old saying? A good deal is one that everybody walks away from thinking they hurt a little bit. So
yeah,
and so that's kind of where we are on it. But yeah, I think there's things to keep in mind as you're starting and as you're building and where you're spending your money and all those things. Those all come into play. And I'm really interested to see what kind of questions we'll get when we're doing that as we approach those things.
And see, I wish I could have. I guess I wish I could have been involved in the industry a little bit longer than I was before I built my shop, because you have the luxury of you've been to a bunch of, numerous monument shops. You have a good idea of what all equipment exists out there in our industry, and you get to pick and choose through this. Whenever I built mine, I think I had been inside 2 or 3 monument shops at that time, and I don't believe I had even been to a single convention yet.
Wow.
And of course, there's even in your case, after you finish construction, there's still going to be things you wish you did differently. But especially me, knowing what I know now, there's a lot of things I'd have done differently. And that doesn't mean I'm unhappy with what I have right now. I'm very happy with what I have.
Yeah.
I just would have done a few things differently.
Yeah. Well, and that's kind of where we're at is I've had, you're right. I've had the luxury of having been in it a while. I've also, I've had the conversation with Jonathan a couple of weeks, over the last couple of weeks about different things. And I'm like, look, I'm not the guy who has to have the best and brightest or the best and newest equipment out there. Yes, I do have some new equipment here currently, but there's certain things that you kind of go, okay, like a dust collector is a dust collector.
Correct.
Right? It's a simple machine.
Very simple.
And I'm not, of course, I'm going to irritate some of the manufacturers of those things, but the problem is that yes, sometimes you need that, a new one, not every time. And if you can make an older one work, then great. And those are kind of where I'm going down the path of is there's certain things,
especially with just to use your example as a dust collector, even if you were to find a deal on a good used one, there is literally one moving part in those, and it's a motor. If a motor goes out, you replace a motor. And of course, I know there's like on mine, there's the pneumatic purge on it. And again, that's all still, it's simple stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm easily able to service any part of it if I ever did encounter an issue with it.
Yeah. So
but with you, of course, it's just going to come down to what you're wanting to spend and then also weigh that up against efficiency.
Mm-hmm. And the purpose of all this is to make sure that we're in a place where we can better serve our customers in the end anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we'll do.
I mean, because you could build your nice new shop and just put a manual booth in there and you're still going to be able to sandblast rock.
Oh, yeah.
But again, it just comes down to how efficient do you want to be with it?
Yep.
The end product will still be the same. It's just, how much of this do you want to automate?
Yeah, and that's kind of where we are. So, we'll, like for me, I'm like I can always update the automation. Mm-hmm. I will bet that at any given point in time in my career, Miles will sell me a brand new sand handler.
I bet you wouldn't have to talk to him too hard about it.
No, I bet it. Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's a lot of convincing that would have to happen.
No.
And so those kind of things, you kind of go, that stuff's always available to you but does it make sense in the moment? Mm-hmm. Does it make sense in what you're trying to pursue? I say all this, but I also understand that I'm the guy that will go buy a tool for a job, knowing that I'll use it on other jobs, but with the intent, knowing that job is paying for the tool. Right. And so my first setting trailer was that. I knew I had a job coming up. We ordered it, and back then they were producing them fast enough that I had it in time for that job to be ready. And it was here, and then I used it for other jobs. And man, we made so much money off of having that piece of equipment. It was mm-hmm. amazing. So, but that's the goal.
Mm-hmm.
What you have is supposed to make you money, not necessarily. Yes, it's going to cost you money, but if it's costing you more than it's making you, then you've got problems. It's time
mm-hmm.
to offload it.
Yeah, or you could live by the philosophy of T. Boone Pickens, and he says, "Buy the best, and you'll never regret it."
Maybe.
Right.
I mean, who's defining what is the best?
True. And again, like I said, it comes down to an efficiency thing. The part that matters the most is the end product that you're putting out. And a sand handler versus a manual booth versus a manual J, or not a Model J, mm-hmm. none of them are going to give you any better quality work.
No.
You
still have to know what you're doing.
Yes. Yeah, there's nothing automatic about it. And until they make 5-axis CNC machines extremely affordable for people like us, then it's still on us. But still, it's still, even if we were to have access to one of those, it's still on us to be the one to program it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And until ChatGPT can integrate with one of those 5-axis CNCs, we're still semi-relevant.
Man, I'm just telling you, even though I've been, of course, you've been playing with ChatGPT as well as I have, and mm-hmm. There's still a lot of holes in it, a lot of holes.
Yes.
So it will not do the whole thing.
No,
it's not going to. And somebody's going to come back and tell me, "No, you don't know what you're talking about. You're just an old fuddy-duddy or whatever."
Mm-hmm. It's funny how the AI works, because you can get it to create some very intricate, well put together designs, but it can't do something as simple as get the lettering correct.
We hit that light. Exactly. So it's not going to be the end all be all. I think my running joke that I was talking about was, if you remember, there's a point in time where Google was used, like when Google came out and the search engines came out and the internet came out. Oh, it's going to put us all out of jobs, right? And the number of jobs that it put people out of is actually rather entertaining, because it didn't put a lot of people out of jobs. It did put some out, and they were the phone book people. So, and now you feel dumb when you're like, you need to be sitting on a phone book. You know what? But the truth of the matter is that it's not going to be one of those items where it can't break the rock. It can't sandblast the rock.
Correct.
It can only create artwork if you know how to dictate it to create the artwork. And as far as we have seen on our end, it's good, but not great.
Mm-hmm. The same can be said that I can remember, and a lot of us were in the same boat whenever it came time to putting together a website for our company. DMart offered websites for monument companies, and a lot of us did it, and I did it at one point in time. And DMart could add into it the online configurator to where families could design their own, and you could just be sent this design. And I removed that pretty quickly because people didn't understand what could and could not be done.
Yep.
Just because you can shrink a rose down to, a little 3-inch circle does not mean we can sandblast it.
No.
And it's just, again, it keeps us semi-relevant.
Yeah. Well, but that's why I've always been like, the advocate for doing things like, whether, of course, we've talked a lot about Hard Rocks over the years, but going to, Ron Clamp has his sandblast course that he does. All of these different hands-on classes that are available, because you learn those details that you're not going to get by sitting there trying to Google it.
Oh, I remember whenever I thought Ask Jeeves was the most amazing thing I'd ever come across in my life.
I was
Jeeves. Like, you can ask this thing anything.
That's what I explained to James the other day is that ChatGPT is just it is a better form of Google. And when I say that, what I mean is in Google, if I type in the search bar something, all it's going to do is pull up the web addresses that kind of answer the question.
Mm-hmm. And you still might have to click 3 or 4 of those links, but you're not going to page 3.
Correct. The deal with ChatGPT is, what if I take that same sentence and type it in there, it scours the internet and creates an answer based on the available data that is there.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. It's only as good as the data that is available to it and those who've written the code.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a good product, and I use it quite a bit, but it's, it is not foolproof.
No.
So, but yeah. But no, what else do you got going on?
Oh, got a baseball tournament this weekend.
Ooh.
Yep, good in good old Chickasha, Oklahoma.
Ooh, you get to cross that river.
I do. Yeah, get to drive the marvelous Interstate 44, the worst turnpike in the nation.
No, we've got homecoming and stuff like that tomorrow, but this stuff over here has been kind of consuming my time quite a bit. I was going to add, no, Aggies don't do homecoming. It used to be an all-male school.
Oh,
high school homecoming.
Oh, but hey, speaking of A&M, you got to do a pretty cool project on campus here recently, didn't you?
Yes. So we, of course, I chose to really take control of it, and we donated Reveille's marker. So for those of y'all who don't know, Reveille is the mascot at Texas A&M, and she's a collie. And there have been 10 of them, 10 Reveilles, not all collies, but 10 Reveilles. And just 2-3 weeks ago, Reveille 9, who was the Reveille whenever I was at A&M, passed away due to, she was old, complications of pneumonia. And so she had passed, and they had done her burial service, which is right there in front of Kyle Field. Well, I've got enough contacts over there at the university. I called and said, look, she needs a marker. I'm going to make sure she has the marker.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give her the marker. And we took care of it, made sure it's out there, and cleaned up the others, straightened them all up. So everything's good to go. You've got, so I wanted it there for the next home game. So which it's plenty of time before, like it's I think it's a month before South Carolina shows up out here. So we're on the road for a bit. But yeah, so it was cool because what I posted in Monument Builders was funny. It was when you have the opportunity to take the photo op, right? How often do you get to have your truck with your logo on it and your crane stretched out in front of one of the biggest stadiums in the country? Mm-hmm. And so,
and especially getting to do it on what I would consider to be a pretty hallowed place.
Yeah.
On campus. And of course I didn't go to A&M like some cool people did, but
you did go to A&M. You're a part of the system.
That's true. I'm part of the system. But one thing that I thought that was neat is that area that they've dedicated for the burial of, each Reveille, the scoreboard that's there.
Mm-hmm.
That it's on during the game and it shows the live score. Yeah. I mean,
it's funny because I don't know that I could tell you it's on during the game because I've never been out there for, I've either been at home or inside the stadium or whatever. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I'm assuming it is. I've been told so.
It is. Because I think it was about a week before you said that there was something on Facebook talking about the most recent burial of Reveille 9.
Yeah.
And it showed a nighttime view of it during a football game, and you could see the glow from Kyle Field, and then of course you could see the scoreboard on that's facing the graves of Reveille.
Yeah.
Do you say Reveilles or do you just call it Reveille?
I think it's like moose, right?
Meese.
It's not meese, it's moose.
Right.
So yeah, it's a Reveille. All of them are Reveille, which is funny. But I think the problem becomes that she got her name because she would bark during Reveille in the morning. Mm-hmm. So that's where the name came from, and that's what she's been known as. So yeah, but they're all of them cumulatively are Reveille.
Okay. Now, one question I did have, because if my memory serves me correct, it's a simple 2x1 gray bevel marker,
mm-hmm.
and it's a panel with condensed Roman. All right.
Yep.
Okay.
Highfalutin design.
Were you able to do that?
It was tough.
Did it hurt to do
I had to ask
or were you so ensconced in the tradition?
I had to ask what font it was, as a matter of fact. So it was
Since you donated it to the university, did you just try to pass in a piece of China gray?
No, that's Keystone Blue, man. No. Hey, dog cult recognizes dog cult.
That's funny.
So yeah, we no, it's Keystone Blue. I had one sitting here, and because I keep them around, but we went ahead and got another one ordered just in case whatever we had spots in it. But no, we had clean and got it knocked out real quick, and it's out there. So no, it's nothing crazy. We went ahead and relined everything up, so everything's straight and orderly.
So what you're telling me that it's probably a better idea that if any of y'all ever come across getting to do a project like that rather than taking that $1,000 payday from a major university that you just donated.
100%. I mean, what did that thing cost me? It's a 2-1 bevel marker. What, $150? Maybe we'll call $187. I don't even know. And I had it here. You get a little bit of time in sandblast and installation. Let's say I'm all into it, $400. You think something like that?
Yeah, no, that's one that you don't blink on.
Just get it out there. Here's the bizarre thing.
To do it.
Here's the bizarre thing about that, right? Let me ask you, if you're out there doing an install on this, how do you install that on the ground? What does it look like, your process? I don't mean step by step. What is involved in a bevel marker for installation?
If I was setting it in a cemetery?
Sure.
Oh, just like anything else we do, we'll dig down about 6 inches or so and maybe pop a pier hole in it. Just depends upon the cemetery that it's in. And then we'll fill it with concrete and rebar and set it on top of it and call it good.
Okay. What would you do in this scenario? Same thing?
Well, I would want to, but also given the fact that you have to be aware of what has been done before. First off, did you inquire about how to set it, or did you do a little exploration?
No, I discovered whenever we were there doing the installation.
Oh, so you came prepared to do a normal set?
Yes.
Okay.
And when we re-leveled the others and straightened them out, we discovered there's no concrete under them.
So that's what you're doing. You're going to get them on the re-level later on.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. No, everything underneath it was sandy loam compacted down. I was rather surprised. And so, but I guess because it sits in that, now they shifted, but they didn't. I mean, keep in mind, what is there has been there since the remodel in 2014.
Okay.
So 10 years, and they've shifted a little. I mean, the one that was out of level and out of skew the most was maybe out an inch. And that doesn't mean that.
And part of it, unfortunately, can be that you never know what somebody does during the middle of the night.
I would even, it's grass in that little raised area, so they still got to mow.
True.
In there, and they probably just hit it with a weed eater or something like that. But, but I would actually argue it's much more likely that the train that's across the street probably vibrates it.
Oh, yeah.
And then all of the traffic around it, during game day, and then on top of that, we do fire a giant cannon during scores. So like all of these things are little vibrations.
Well,
but over time,
about Kyle filled it at capacity.
Yeah.
There's definitely a resonance that extends beyond the stadium.
And so you go, but to move an inch, that was it, just an inch. I was rather impressed. So yeah, it's crazy how stuff is set there pretty well on that and didn't need much. So I didn't want to break what is there and reinvent the wheel.
The piece of grass that you trimmed out for the marker, did you come home and plant it in your yard?
I can't talk about that. Truthfully, I had no idea what to do with it.
Yeah.
But no, it's that was cool. We got to do that, and that worked out real well. Everybody in the shop was a part of it, so that was real cool to do that. But yes, if in the event that you have the ability to do something similar, I'd say do it. Don't hesitate. Be a part of those things. It goes a long way. Those service things are
important to be not only known in your community, but to actually be an active part of your community, especially if you were wanting to operate a business in that community.
We had we had a conversation. I actually had a conversation with my banker. You say that part, and it makes me think. I had a conversation with my banker earlier today. And I was talking to him about all these different associations. He's a part of Rotary Club.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, man, I don't want to do Rotary Club. I don't want to go sit there in these meetings at lunch and listen to a speaker and blah, blah, blah. Like I eat lunch and get back to work.
Same.
So the only day that I take my time on lunch is Fridays.
Mm-hmm.
So, I was like, yeah, I'm not going to that. And I said, actually, the one I have a bigger problem with, though, is the Chamber of Commerce. I have a big problem with the Chamber of Commerce because, and I don't know what it's like there in Wichita Falls.
Oh,
but
just judging by how you're prefacing this, it's probably going to be an identical opinion to mine.
I feel like it is a giant. Everybody look at me. I need an attaboy, thing to get together and then just drink and have a reason to drink. Like, I don't feel like people are there gaining more business.
Negative.
I think it's a write-off for alcohol.
Mm-hmm. Whenever I first opened up, I joined the chamber here, and I thought that was just a natural part of the process of starting a business. Join the chamber, become recognized, and then I remember I was sitting in there kind of in the get to know them stage, and I said, okay, well, what can y'all, like, what can the chamber do to help my business? And they said, well, we'll host a ribbon cutting for you. And I was like, okay, well, what else? Well, if somebody calls the chamber asking for a monument company, you'd be the one we recommend. And I said, how often do people call for recommendations to the chamber? And they're like, well, people do call from time to time. And that's whenever it kind of started losing its luster for me.
Yeah, and it's funny because when I was talking to him about it, my banker said, well, it's funny you say that because I just got put on the board for the chamber.
Yeah.
And I told him, I said, you know that I'm not one to sugarcoat things. It's now you get the full thought of what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So, but
I don't have anything against being a part of these local organizations, like you said, the Rotary Club or Lions Club, or anything like that. And I think there's good that can come from them all. My biggest issue that I have is I literally do not have the time to always be dedicating my time to something else other than my business and my ever increasing busy personal life.
Yeah.
And that's not to say anything against them. It's just that I don't want to become a member and then just kind of fade off there. If I'm going to be involved in something, I'm going to be involved.
And I don't want my life to revolve around those things.
No,
I've got other things I can do.
Mm-hmm.
I've got plenty of other things that need to be done anyway.
Yes.
So, yeah, no, we'll see. I may do it for the ribbon cutting and then be done.
Well, welcome to my playbook.
Yep.
And the part that got me about the ribbon cutting was, and of course, all chambers may be different, but whenever they did the ribbon cutting for me, it was snip, clap, clap, bye.
Ooh. No, I don't like that at all.
No, and again, that was just part of the downhill slide with.
It's probably because you didn't provide booze.
It would have been a guaranteed draw for sure. Well, heck, I've learned now that the cemetery across the road from me for some time now, that whenever a family comes in for a consultation with them, that they'll do the same as I would assume you do and I do and whatnot. Hey, can I get you a water or anything like that?
Yeah.
And their menu's a little bit more extensive than ours, that they've now offered wine and beer.
Oh, what are they, Tecovas?
It's kind of like whenever we went to the King Ranch store in Oklahoma City. They're like, "You want
Yeah.
King Ranch beer?" And we're like,
Yes.
"Sure."
Yeah. That's the only reason we spent money in there.
I think, dadgummit, they got us.
Yeah.
Because we both bought stuff there and then.
Yeah. Think of how much money you spent with a $3 beer in your hand.
Yeah.
They made out like bandits on that one.
I don't know. There may be something to it. So now, do I need to keep?
The problem is
different brands, or do we just go ahead and invest in the kegerator, or what do we?
Here's where my problem comes into this, right? Inevitably, I would end up doing this because I don't necessarily have a problem with it until you have it offered, and their child was killed by a drunk driver. Yep. Because I've gone down that road in my head,
In that case, it's just best to never do it. Don't ever open the door. Don't ever open the door for somebody to be.
Oh, he was an alcoholic. No.
Yeah.
I mean, you could always just do the a fancy wine coffee bar.
True.
Put you a high-end coffee maker in there or something like that.
Mm-hmm. And that just goes beyond, like, there's so many things I want to do in this business, and whenever it comes to advertising and outreach and things like that, I'm a big humor person. I love to make people laugh, and of course, in this, you always have to read the room, and I still try to use humor and know when it's appropriate, when it's not, whenever it's not appropriate. But there's so many things that I'd love to do in advertising that I know that there's probably a good chunk of the population here that would find it funny, and I would stick in their mind then. But then there would be some out there that would say I would never do business with him because of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you've got to be cautious in all that, and that's the way I feel about it as well. Mm-hmm. I fear a lot of that kind of stuff because it's not worth tanking everything over something dumb.
No.
So on that note, we ain't got anything crazy going on over here. We're about ready to get out of here and figure out the homecoming deal tomorrow for high school. This will be our first, or I say our first, it's kind of our second. So he'd gone to his homecoming. James has gone to his homecoming a few weeks ago. Mm-hmm. Tomorrow's homecoming is the one with his girlfriend who goes to a different high school. So this will be his second homecoming, but the first one with a female. So, they're going to go do all that fun stuff or whatever. And I'm just glad that our football game's at 2:30, so I don't have to overlap.
Yep. Yeah, that's tomorrow. I'll be sitting at a baseball game that starts at 1, and then we play right after that at 3, and then we come home.
Man, I'm telling you that James has now joined wrestling at high school.
Okay.
And, look, you're probably going to be in the same boat as me. I'm going to take a wild guess and bet I'm 100% accurate on this. While you knew people that wrestled, it was not the thing here.
Mm-hmm.
We're in the South. It's football, baseball, some basketball, but it's stuff like that.
The high school I went to didn't even have a wrestling team.
Really? So we had one, but it wasn't that big, and all that kind of stuff.
But of course, I went to a high school that whenever my graduating class, there was 31 people.
Huh.
I was in the top 10.
Now, yeah. So it didn't take you very long to date everybody that was in your class.
I dated nobody from my school. I went to other towns.
So, yeah, he decided to do this on his own, and that's great. I had no problem. I know it's a bigger thing up north, the wrestling stuff, and so, but he had a coach that said, "Hey, are you interested in wrestling?" I told him, I said, "Look, I think it'll be good for you. I think it teaches you to think fast. I think it will be good for you whenever it comes to football or for other things. Just in life, I think in life it's going to be good for you. Build some confidence and stuff like that. But I told him, go for it. And what he found out, the reason he joined is because his coach told him, you will be the only person in your weight class, which means you're going to be varsity immediately as a freshman.
That'll work.
Which means you can get your letter jacket pretty quick.
He'll letter immediately.
Yeah. So I was like, man, that's cool. Go do it. By all means. So that's what he's doing. But then we started looking at the schedule. There are wrestling meets non-stop.
Oh, that's the point. My wife and I right now, between what my son does, because in school right now he's playing tennis, and then he plays baseball year round. So there's that always going on. And then my daughter, between her volleyball games and competitive cheerleading, there's, just like everybody else experiences, that everything overlaps. So sometimes Megan is with Kennedy somewhere, I'm with Carson elsewhere, and we're all just having to watch the videos afterwards. Or at least in the case of baseball, there's Game Changer now, so she can at least watch it live whenever she's not able to be there.
Yeah. Well, and that's what we got to figure out now. We've got to figure out what to do when it comes to the last two Aggie home games. He's got tournaments. And you're like, what do you this is brutal.
It's funny. I think just yesterday, my son's tennis coach told him that, because this is his first year playing tennis ever, and he started out on the B team, and the coach told him yesterday that wants him to move to the A team, and which is great that he's progressing with it and he's doing well enough to play on the A team. And he declined it and said he'd rather stay on the B team because he saw the A team schedule and saw that it overlapped with some of his baseball tournaments, and he'd rather choose baseball.
Oh, man. Well, on that note.
Yep, on that one.
Time to shut it down. And it's the weekend, man. Have a good one. Enjoy your weekend. Don't forget, if you're listening, to mark your calendar for January 15th through the 17th, Baltimore, Maryland, Mid-Atlantic Convention. Come check us out. Come hang out.
We'll share some links to the registration.
I think we need to get some more swag. We've got plenty of time now.
Yeah, we've got plenty of time now.
Maybe we get some. We got. I think we've got plenty of koozies. We have plenty of koozies.
I would say we have a plethora.
That might be a literal quantity. Yes. Maybe we get some ball caps or something like that. Something easy.
Definitely so.
So, but that'll work. On to that. And until then, y'all take it easy. Enjoy y'all's week, and keep selling some rocks.
Absolutely. Y'all have a good one.